Oh, well, hello. Welcome to another episode of All Brucked Up.
Welcome back.
I love that. Just a cracked like a 13-year-old prepubescent boy. I can't even talk. I didn't even finish my cup of wine. I'm already slurring my words. That's great. I'm sober. Today we have a very special guest. Today we have with us Gavriella Brimm from Chicago.
Hi.
We knew her like forever. We're very excited to have you, Gavriella.
Thanks for having me.
She was a little bit nervous before coming on the show,
Yes.
but I told her it's super chill. Like we have such a fun time and everything. And
Sheldon
then
is
we
a
all-
little bit intimidating, but other than that,
right? I know, seriously. It's not that simple. Like I get like, maybe when people like stand next to such perfection, it's hard for them, even virtually, to like do that. So I commend you. Good for you.
Thanks for having me.
Doing a great job. So we were just talking about before we came online. Oh, I sound like an old man. Came online before you started videotaping.
before we enter our dial-up,
On a dial-up, right? That, seriously, before I logged into my AOL account, which I find embarrassingly, I do still have. But we were talking about like we all grew up like in Chicago and everything, and Gavriella and I went to New York for like our college days, and I was in LIM college, and you were in Stern, right?
Yes, I was.
So she was in Stern. And then I was also, while I was in LIM at night, I was going to makeup designery because I was going into makeup, which a lot of people who know me, they know that like I did makeup for a very long time. So one time, like I needed to have like a model and I didn't know like who I was going to get and everything. So then I asked Gavriella if she would come as a model to makeup school, and then she did.
I don't remember this, by the way.
Are you
I
serious?
really do not remember this.
I still have the pictures. Yep.
Really?
And she came as my model. Yeah,
I do not
totally.
remember this.
And she came as a model to school, and then you were like, okay, I'm leaving Stern.
Oh, yeah. I was like so inspired. You're right. Yeah, I did.
to leave and go to the same school, makeup designer.
No, I went to a school in downtown Chicago, Makeup First School of Makeup Artistry. So I did leave Stern. Were you my inspiration? Oh my gosh, I literally don't remember this.
College dropout inspired by Sheldon T.
Y'all.
Seriously,
I literally-
I'm really a good influence.
You are. Oh my god.
Right.
Or a bad one,
We're
depending on where you spin this.
Inspiring the
Whatever.
masses over here.
Right? Inspiring the dropout movement.
Yes.
But like in all honesty, like how many people when they graduate college, like I have so many friends, like they graduate like a psychology degree, have nothing to do with
I have
psychology.
a psychology
People
degree.
graduated with like a right, okay, and you're one of them. I literally have a few. One of them became a photographer.
Yes.
I'm like, okay. And like also private school's like really expensive.
Yes.
Like really
Yeah.
expensive.
But it was-
Like
Well, also, if you're a psychologist, unless you're going to get you're going to get like a doctorate,
Yeah.
I feel like it's not gonna. A lot of people end up doing that. I know a lot of people that also majored in psychology and then didn't end up doing it. But
I
it
think
is
you need-
interesting that
Yeah.
that both of you guys went to makeup school and neither of you do makeup full time.
We did for a
Yeah.
long time though.
very
I
long
did it
time.
for
right.
6 years. It was
Right.
Yeah. I did
Whirlwind.
for like 10.
10.
I remember
Oh my
Sheldon
God.
rolling around with his little
Nine.
he had his wheelie makeup bag.
And he got sued because
But it worked. When I was in college, I literally had my school bag, and I was reeling my wheelie bag all over. And like they always say, like New Yorkers are so bitchy and stuff like that. Like I was in college in the Upper East Side, had to rush down to Soho, and like so I'm like running with my wheelie bag, trying to get to the subway.
You
There's
poor
people just like
thing.
standing. On
You
the,
poor thing.
it's a really hard life. First world problems. Like people just standing on the sidewalk, taking pictures of like taxis, like tourists. Like, oh my god, y'all. Oh my god, those like whatever. But like for real though, I'm sorry, you middle American people that we love. I'm like, do you not have taxi cabs like where you come from? Did you need to stand in the center of the sidewalk to take that photo? Like, you can't move over. Like, we have places to be. Like, places
You
to
sound
be.
like every person in New York that you bump into.
But that is why.
The
It's
worst
because, like,
type of-
bitches, like, it's nice that you're coming and visiting our small town, which is overly populated, but, like, we have places to go. Like, when the subway arrives, you shove your ass into that thing. You don't saunter your way in and stand right in the front.
Right.
People need to get their asses in there, and
Right.
if they don't, they will cut you.
Wow.
Literally. And metaphorically.
I feel like it's
Although
also
these-
it's hard coming from Chicago, where like I feel like it's not nearly as fast paced or intense.
I loved
Especially in the
it.
Jewish
So-
community.
I loved it.
Like,
it
we-
was so fun.
Chicago? Or New
No,
York?
New York. I was like in
Really?
the
It
city.
gave me so much anxiety, though.
Really?
And when we were younger, like, I
Oh
feel
my
like
God,
when we
really?
just moved there.
Gave you
Yeah,
anxiety,
I know.
huh?
Me with anxiety, it's really hard to imagine. My middle name is Xanax, Sheldon Xanax Brock. And
Sheldon expert.
Right? It's better than the T. My middle name is T. Everyone at work, like, what is it? My coworker, Adi, like every other day, he comes up with like a new like name, what it is. It's Thomas, it's Timothy, it's like everything. It's something new every day. I was like, yeah, none of those sound good. Sheldon already sounds like an old man. Sheldon something, like with a T.
Sheldon,
I'm gonna like
bro.
Theodore.
Well, I met you as Sheldon.
Or Shelly Teddy.
I met you as Sheldon.
Shalom, my Hebrew name. Well, my legal name is Sheldon, but my Hebrew name is Shalom. My middle name is Moshe, so I'm Shalom Moshe Brock. You better work.
Yep.
And I always say the reason why my parents named me that is because like Shalom, like I'm all like peaceful and shit like that, so I'm gonna bring the world at peace, obviously.
Duh.
And then Moshe is after like Moshe Rabbeinu, like Moses, and he was like the leader of the Jews, and like Regina George was the leader of the plastic, so I'm basically the Regina George of the Jews.
Aww.
It's
so
like
sweet.
honestly, it's just math.
Right.
So if you figure out that equation, it's very obvious. And yeah, so then we were at makeup school, and I did inspire you, which is why I understand why you were nervous coming onto this show.
I literally do not remember. You're gonna have to send me that.
Well, and how did you guys? Were you guys in Israel together at the same time as well?
So we were in Israel together at the same time. Yeah,
we did.
remember?
Yes. Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh my god. Right. I know. Seriously, am I just like triggering all these like memories that you put in your subconscious as like PTSD and stuff?
I have the worst memory. I have the worst memory. But yeah, I do remember. I did come up to Bar Ilan, and we did go out together.
We went a party.
Yes, we did.
We did. Those were the days, and you know that was like literally going to be 13 years ago.
Oh my god, stop.
Like I could have had a kid who's almost bar mitzvahed if I had this kid like the same age as like my siblings when they got married. That's freaking.
But how did you guys meet in Chicago initially?
Well, we always knew like of each other, and like you know, her mother and Auntie Nina were always like friends, so we always knew that because of that.
And your uncle's my dentist.
Yeah. And and he's mine too. I don't trust anyone else.
Dr. David Siegel.
Yeah, literally, Dr. David Siegel. Do not trust anybody else.
He has my file
I'm
from
petrified.
1997.
He probably has my file from like before that. I never been to another dentist.
Go
like,
to
I've
him
only
now.
gone to him.
I won't go to anyone else.
I love it. I don't trust anyone else. I'm petrified in this country, like to go to a dentist. No offense, he's really dentists, but I've heard so many horror stories, and like I'm just too freaked out, and like it freaks me out.
Opening your mouth to allow an Israeli person to shove a bunch of sharp tools in there does not sound very exciting.
Yeah, no, definitely does not.
It was a little bit more rough. He was Dr. Siegel was always very careful to like avoid as much pain as possible. Like with the shots, you go super slow just to like ease it in and massage you on your gums.
It would freak me out.
Great.
That's
it was great.
Trustworthy. Like I don't believe if I go to another dentist, they're like, "Oh, you have a cavity." I'm like, "I just want my money."
Totally, right? It's like an auto repair shop. Oh, you need oil change. Oh, you gotta change your tires. Tire rotation.
Right, they just make things up.
Totally, right?
Yeah. So,
and they'll give you a good price. Oh, well, I mean, it's usually this amount, but for you,
for that.
It's funny because that was. I recently saw an episode of Undercover Boss. It was like a chain of
I love those.
like auto repair shops, and the guy went in as like a mechanic, and the guy was telling him like sometimes you gotta cut corners and do things to try to, and he's like, "No, we don't do that, bro."
I love those episodes when the people make asses of themselves and like they like say. Right? But first of all, I mean, they're coming with a film crew. Like, what do you really think is being filmed? The show's been out for so long. But also, like, you're being filmed. Whether or not it's your undercover boss, why would you say those things?
Because they probably think it's some small time. Like, I saw this woman yesterday who was she wasn't following, like, any of the things she was supposed to, like, where she was working. She didn't really care for the job. And when he called her out for it at the end, she just like broke down. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I can't." And then she walked away.
Oh, I saw that one. Yeah, right? And
you
literally, oh my
God,
I can't.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that show with the restaurants with that guy who comes to the restaurants? And I was like,
Kitchen Nightmares.
Yeah,
Gordon Ramsay. Hello.
Like all of them are literally like slice of life.
Yeah.
Right? Oh my God, I know. Totally. By the way.
I feel so bad. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, I know. Sorry, Sheldon came.
Oh my gosh,
Sheldon.
do not put that in there.
Yeah.
I feel so bad.
No, but like slice of death, everyone always said it like that. But like it's true.
We were
like,
all
but the thing with
life.
Kitchen Nightmares, but like with Kitchen Nightmares, like they're all like, my food is like the best. Like I don't know what the problem is. Like people have a problem for not coming in. Like I don't know what their problem is because my place is amazing. And every time he gives them any sort of constructive criticism, even though he's like 99.9% of the time he's a complete ass about it, they're immediately defensive.
That's just for the show.
I love that
He's not
show.
like that.
It's so entertaining.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean,
Just
obviously a lot of it
everyone
is for the
says
show,
it.
but
All
he
I've
just
heard is
comes
that
off
it's
like an
for the
ass. What?
I mean, it's also interesting because like you're bringing in one of the top chefs in the world, Michelin starred chef, to come taste your random town
Multiple Michelin
$5
stars.
breakfast meal and tell you that it tastes terrible. Well, yeah, to Gordon Ramsay standards, I'm sure it tastes terrible.
Right?
And
It's
it
like,
could be
joke's
really
on you,
different.
bitch. That was a big muffin.
Yeah, but it's also a good
Right, just throwing some
persona.
random food, but it does always seem funny. Also, I think maybe one restaurant avoided closing down after Kitchen Nightmares. Every other restaurant didn't last.
Oh, really?
My favorite was the Amy's Bakery Company. Did you guys see that one?
No.
With the psycho bitch woman and her husband who were complete psychopaths that on the first episode that they were on, Gordon Ramsay literally shut down the whole thing
Really?
and would not continue.
Oh, I have to watch
they were
that one.
awful, horrendous. The way they talk to their staff is disgusting, and they don't even give them any of the tips.
Oh my!
And they like yell at them and berate them, and they're, oh my god, horrible.
Why
You
would
must
you
watch
still
that.
work in a place like that? I guess some people need to.
Well, it's a small
If
town.
there's no other alternatives. Especially like now with the recession and everything, you know, it's so hard to find a job now. People are really just taking what they can because they need to function. Like, thank God, like I live here in America. It's like, oh my God, people are losing their jobs, and that means they're losing their health insurance. And like, if they have children, like it's frightening.
Yeah.
So crazy.
100%. And
Like,
it's interesting because I
cannot
saw a
even
video
imagine.
recently from someone who I used to watch on YouTube, which I really didn't
Somebody
like.
that I used to know.
A lot of the comments, almost all the comments on the video were like, you know, I've been a fan for a while. I love your stuff, but like this one is not it. And it was basically trying to explain why the recent like bank crashes that happened won't really affect anyone except for the wealthy, when everyone who was affected by the financial crisis of 2008 was not just the wealthy and people.
No, right, 100%. No, I'm saying the thing is from these specific closures, it's very possible that not, because like you know, like what I discussed before, and also like Silicon Valley Bank was just bought out, but like it's not that the money wasn't there and they lied about it, kind of like
Right,
Lehman
they
Brothers and
just have
stuff
it
like
on
that. It was just all tied up in bonds and stuff like that.
Right.
So, but with this is a domino effect. And like it's affecting every single business, because even like businesses that have nothing to do with finance and like all that, it's like, right, but when consumers are now making less of an income, they're not spending as much. So no matter what industry you're in, no matter what, like it's affecting everyone. It happens to be the company I work for. I'm not giving them a whole shout out to like promote them. I'm not one of the sales reps. But we save people money on their cloud costs. You better work. So like we happen to be doing great right now because so many companies, the cloud is huge. Almost every company's in it now. And it's a Shrek ton of money. And I know, right? I know.
I love when he randomly
decides.
I love it when he randomly decides to censor.
I don't want to lose monetization because we're sponsored by HelloFresh.
Are
Use
you?
code All Brucked Up.
No,
we're not.
I feel like if you keep saying that, though, we're probably going to get smacked with a lawsuit before we get it.
Oh my God, I'm telling you. Every fucking episode, I'm like, yeah, HelloFresh, please. I love. Oh my God. But if I almost just spilled my wine. But if not, Raycon. I mean, these are expensive buds. So if you want to give us a thing too, we will take that.
Sheldon's really chasing that bag.
Chasing that coin, you better work.
Chasing that coin. Making paper.
I'm telling
like
you, talking about the recession, this is what you got to do, you know? HelloFresh, Raycon, whatever we can get. I'll take anything. Dollar Tree, no matter what. Not Walmart, though. No. I draw the line. Or Kmart.
Walmart's phenomenal.
I don't think
you
I've
obviously
ever
have
seen
not
them
been to a Walmart in a very long
Hi.
time.
That is the most New Jersey thing you have ever said.
No, you haven't lived in this country in like 6 years.
First of all, almost 7. Second of all, Target's way better than Walmart.
Yes and no. Target's better for in-store shopping. Walmart is infinitely better.
So it
for
happens to
delivery.
be.
We get
So, like-
delivery same day to our house of all our groceries. It's free. Pay like $30. Any orders over $30 are free delivery same day.
Really?
Use it all the time. Walmart
Oh,
Plus.
that's different. That's different than going to Walmart, though. But it happens to me, though. Like Walmart in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, was really, really nice. Super nice. The Walmarts by us in Chicago were disgusting.
Yeah, no, they are.
Disgusting.
The in-store experience feels like you're walking into someone's old shed in their backyard where they keep their old clothing and like machinery.
Like I feel like that's where COVID might have started, in a Walmart. I don't know if it was in Wuhan, so we should really look into that.
Aisle 6 of the
Right?
of the hack and stack Walmart.
Exactly. It was that one bag of cheese curls. Let it all loose.
Right. Now we're gonna get flagged for
Oh my god, totally. Just saying the word COVID. Talking about Walmart. I'm being sued now by HelloFresh Walmart. I was already in a lawsuit recently. I don't need any more lawsuits. I'm lawsuit free at the moment. So like,
it is.
Sorry.
What else happening? Oh no, the other lawsuit I was in when someone tried to sue me over a picture about.
No, that one.
I can't go into details.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. No. I don't know if I really can, but I shouldn't, just in case. But yeah.
True.
But it was a ridiculous thing.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, Sheldon was involved in a double homicide investigation.
It was a triple homicide. Thank you very much.
We're still awaiting the outcome of said investigation, but things are a little.
No, I'm pleading offensive because I was really offended and triggered by what these people said to me.
Pleading offensive.
Yeah, I was triggered, so therefore I take the woke plea and I will be released. So, yeah,
that sounds about right.
American culture these days, 100%. 100%. Me and Gavriella love true crime.
It's funny because used to living in Chicago, we were just there. Because in my mind, I had this in my mind. I'm going back. When I was just in Chicago last week, 2 weeks ago, the gas prices there are insane. And then Dad told me that Chicago has always been some of the highest gas prices in the country.
First of all, that's true. Second of all, dude, gas prices here are more than double the price.
And is there
You're surrounded by the countries that make the gas and don't like you.
Yeah, so we literally have to buy like through third-party sellers. Plus, our taxes here are crazy, so it's like $8 a gallon.
$8.
I mean, now it's like $8 or something.
Oh my god!
But when it was more than that, yeah, when gas was really high.
Wow.
But other expenses are a lot less. I feel like.
Like what?
Food.
No.
It's not.
Like, literally no.
So
Nothing
is the cost of living more in Israel than in America?
I mean, it depends. Like, we have to pay insurance. Like, people who are religious who pay for private schools, we don't have to do that. I mean, you could.
But even private schools are not particularly expensive. A few $1,000s a year.
Exactly.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, but like here, like sales tax is 17.5%. Everyone's like on your regular taxes, you're paying close to 40% taxes, and that's if you make like shit. So, like, no matter what. Like in America, people complain about taxes and tax the wealthy higher. Like here, we're all just like, it's like, oh, you wanted to keep some of the money that you made and worked for all year.
Everyone in the same bracket? Are there different brackets?
No.
Really?
It's just like you get it all. Unless you make like nothing, and then you won't owe as much in taxes. Like, there's certain things that like if you don't make, I mean, if you make over certain thresholds, they'll take more. But like you're at a minimum, you're paying close to 40%, wow. and then you have to pay your pension and you're this and you're that. And by the time you almost have 50% of your money,
wow.
Right? The average income's also way lower. Here, I think it's like 40,000 or something.
It's higher. It's like 65.
In America, no way.
I think average is like 50.
Really? I thought it was like 60. I just added the 5 because I wanted to sound fancy.
The median U.S. income in 2021 was $69,717.
Wow.
See, thank you. I just won the Price is Right. Ding, 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 bitches. Goodbye.
The highest paying jobs were chief executives and nurse anesthesists.
Anesthetist. Okay, but nurse anesthetist or something like that is what my friend Jack, shout out Jack, you better work, Yakov. And he is going to be a nurse anesthetist or whatever the hell. It's a nurse and no, it's together though. It's a nurse anesthetist or something like that.
No, it's a nurse anesthetist.
No, I'm telling you. Hold on, I'm looking it up.
I'm telling you that you're wrong.
Anesthetist.
It's nurse anesthetist. Anesthetist? Really? You're just pronouncing it hilarious.
Anesthetist.
This
is a paradigm example of your mispronunciation.
You don't even want to know how I'm Googling this shit. I didn't Google 0 results.
If you get 0 results, that's Google telling you your brain.
Is it literally nurse anesthetist?
What?
I thought it was one word. Oh my god.
ANES and then TH, anesthetist.
Anesthetist.
We got to give up. We got to give up.
Anesthetist.
Keeping this in.
I can, you guys. I'm sorry. This is why I did makeup for many years.
Hold on, so Gavriella, you don't do makeup anymore.
I know,
you do makeup, or you just don't do it full time.
Well, she did her makeup today, and I look like shiznit because we're talking about how we both did makeup, and people are going to be staring at us who are watching like, wait, Sheldon, are you sure you went to makeup school?
First
like,
of all,
if that's what you
when
look
you
like, maybe
said
you
that you were going to do this podcast at 12:30, I was like, 12:30 a.m., of course. That's perfect.
Are you serious?
I did not.
Probably doable.
Yeah.
12:30 a.m. I'm like in bed.
I know. I didn't. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
No, because then it would be the morning for me, and I can't drink this wine in the morning. I would have to have apple spritzer.
Yeah, that's why.
Or like a martini.
Here's my wine. Stuck with water.
I don't know. I know you're like it's too early because it was like in the afternoon your time, and I'm like I still don't understand what the issue is.
Yeah.
But yeah, we both did makeup.
Yes. That's how we
both really liked it.
That's how we really bonded over, how we became close.
Totally,
friends.
that's how we became close and stuff. Totally.
Apparently, I was a model for you at Mud, and I do not remember.
I literally still have pictures. I have everything.
You have to show me them because I really do not remember them. I remember going to your school, but I thought I was just there to visit you. I do not remember modeling.
No, you came to be my model. Yeah, I did like a black smoky eye on
you. Don't remember this at all. Yeah.
It's because we're old.
I know.
And that's why I'm doing a facelift. So if anyone wants to donate to my GoFundMe,
link down below.
Thank you, HelloFresh, for sponsoring my facelift.
Oh my God.
I know. So yeah, so we really got into it and stuff. And at that, I feel like for me, at that point, I always loved makeup growing up, but obviously growing up religious, I was not doing makeup.
Didn't you used to pretend?
I know, right?
You used to pretend that someone did it. She just did it for me. I just.
Yeah, shout out Shani Abramowitz, Rabbi Shani Abramowitz, because when I was in kindergarten, I would literally, my mom, when I came out, my mom's like, well, I knew his back since kindergarten. Every day, I'm I would come home with a full face of makeup. Mom's like, what happened? And I'd be like, Shani Abramowitz forced me during recess to put makeup all over me. And the truth is I would literally beg Shani Abramowitz to borrow this makeup kit that she has, kitty makeup kit, because I just wanted to use it so badly. And I would come home with a full face of makeup every day.
She's putting mascara on me.
Seriously.
Did you really came home with makeup as a kid?
Every single day in kindergarten. Every day.
This is how you are.
Also, Hannah Finn. Shout out Hannah Finn. She was in school with us back in the day, and she had these fingernail things that you put over your actual finger, and they were kind of like witch nails.
I know exactly what
you're talking about. I should beg her for those. I loved those as well. So yeah, I don't know how people. I don't know. When I came out as gay, I'm shocked. I don't know why people weren't shocked. It's pretty crazy.
We were not shocked.
Right? I know. It's when I talk to my friends who met me after I came out, they're like, what kind of closet were you in? A glass closet? What is the deal with that?
That's a good description of glass closet.
Right? You see, even back then, I was always chic. So all about that.
Did you have a Burberry hat and belt set?
Yes,
Burberry hat. I was head to toe in Burberry. As I thought I was so cool.
And you thought
so cool.
You tried to be straight. Is that what we're getting at?
Right. Yeah, that was me trying, Gavriella. That's the frightening part. And I have a picture with my class and Barack Obama when he was our senator in Illinois, and I'm wearing my Burberry hat next to him and my Burberry.
Remember that picture
on your desk?
Of course you did. Always had a pose.
With my larger-than-life nose that was larger than this. And I was such an ebach.
The same thing in our 8th grade Washington trip. You're also striking a pose in that.
Were you?
I'm always striking poses.
So
yeah.
funny.
Remember? And then when I had my music career, You Better Work, and I had a whole photo shoot, and those things just came up with my memories. And SD Siegel is actually the one who took the photos of me. She was getting the photography.
We should get that soundtrack as our intro. If anyone wants to look that up, Sheldon Bruck, get me out of here.
I scrubbed the internet for that shiznit.
I remember those videos.
Oh my God.
That was oh my God. And you were oh my gosh, I remember you had a little suit on, right? In the cover photo?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That pink tie leaning up against the tree.
Oh my God.
Right? Laughing
I love the outdoors.
She's just so funny. Right? Ew, these bugs, get me out of here. That was what inspired the song.
I remember those videos. They're not on the internet anymore? Yeah. You can't find them?
I try to remove everything. I still have the video that I shot with Rena Frand, Rena Hertzfeld.
Oh my God.
All these other people and we did this whole video. It was shown at the Academy. I was just coming out of the closet then. I had just got my first piercing. Thought it was so cool. And yeah, obviously I put makeup on in that music video as well, obviously.
Wait, let me just interject real quick. I just want to say, went right after Sheldon got his first, Sheldon, I call him Sheldon, got his first piercing. We were in Florida, and
Fontainebleau.
We were at the Fontainebleau, and we were going up the elevator. I remember this clear as day. And I'm walking into the elevator with Sheldon, and I go,
I remember which elevator it was.
Yeah, and I said, isn't that the ear? I was a little kid. I just knew what he told me. And I was like, isn't that the ear that you put in if you're gay? I know you wear it in one ear. If you're straight,
and I was like,
ear. I don't know if that's still a thing anymore, but at the time that's what I was told. And he's like, no, that's the other ear. And then not 3 seconds later, a guy walks in with his wife, and he has one earring
and in the other ear.
Oh,
and I
that's
was
so funny.
dying.
That's so.
Because I didn't tell you yet. Yeah.
That's so funny.
But that was like my way of coming out, was getting my earring on my right ear, because that was like what I was always told back in the day. Like, that was like,
a little badass over here. Piercing.
Right? I know. But then I went like piercings galore. I had like I can't even think of the name, like the barbell over here.
Industrial, right? Is that what it is?
Industrial,
yeah.
Exactly. Thank you. I had an eyebrow piercing for a hot second. I had a nose ring before my nose job. Mm-hmm.
A nose ring, really?
Yeah.
Oh my
and he slowly removed them all after realizing that he looked crazy.
Because I started picking up signals from radio waves. It was pretty intense. So I would just be like down the street all of a sudden, like, you know. Every time I heard Fox News going on in my head, I was like, I gotta go. He's gotta go. But yeah. No, but that's the thing with piercings. Like I'm saying, like, you know, everyone goes through awkward stages. I was just blessed enough to go through about 18, currently in my 19th. So like, you know, I had my singing career. Shout out Michelle Thomas for all those vocal lessons. Then I had like all my Burberry phase, my this phase, my that phase, my Ed Hardy phase.
Oh, I remember the Ed Hardy phase.
How did you not shoot me dead? Why did you not lock me indoors?
We didn't even go to the same school.
That was very cool.
Shoot me. I don't care.
I used to wear Ed Hardy ties on Shabbos. You got me some T-shirts with like gemstones on them. I thought I was the coolest guy. I looked like an avocado covered in dirty stones.
Avocado.
Right? But that was the early 2000s, I guess. Like that's what it was like. Ooh, we're like so edgy.
There's a whole documentary on Ed Hardy. Did you see it? It was so.
There's also one on Von Dutch.
Oh,
it was actually very good.
What it was.
I remember that too.
That one was
right. You see, because it was all those like very trashy but cool. Like we were like the 90s was very punk, so this was more like punk chic, like, you know, very edgy like these days. So like
that was an interesting docuseries, whatever. That was interesting.
It was so cool to have a Von Dutch hat.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
When you got yours.
They were so expensive.
They were expensive.
They were like $50, which is like the equivalent to like $120.
And they just had like words across. It was
Von Dutch. That's all it said, literally. Von Dutch. And it was like, but everyone had them. Paris Hilton had one. Like Britney, like everyone in Hollywood, their Juicy Couture, like tracksuits and their Von Dutch hats. Like, oh my God, guys, I haven't eaten in 4 weeks.
That's got to be the worst fashion time for us, was like the early 2000s, late 90s.
You know, it's funny, right? And a lot of people say the 80s were, but I was like, I don't think so. I mean, I didn't live then because I'm very young. But like, I'm saying, like, I feel like people were so much more expressive. Even if it was like kooky and like things didn't match, people were out of their comfort zone, wearing different fashion, wearing crazy makeup. Like, it was much more expressive, and I liked that.
You're saying now it's not?
Because I lived there in my head. Not as much. I mean, nowadays, for sure not. Everyone's literally trying to look like the same person. Like, Kardashian.
I was going to say,
Gavriella, if you knew Sheldon beforehand, what was your reaction when he came out? Or did you, I'm assuming you already knew probably.
I mean,
she was so shocked.
I was so shocked. So shocked. First of all, I didn't know him like that. Well, we started actually becoming friends. I remember right before we went to Israel. That's when we started, because we used to hang out on Shabbos. Yes.
At Leora Arcer's house.
That's how we started hanging out. And then I remember I think you already were in Israel when you came out. Or we were
so because I came out like in my senior year.
Okay.
Like by Shy.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Camp Shy.
Fine.
Yeah.
And
that's why.
Yeah, I remember that. I totally. I don't know why everyone made a big deal about it. I was like, did you not know?
Because you guys always went to Camp Shy.
Yeah, no, I meant about you coming out. I don't know why people made a big deal about it, because it was so.
People who used to call me gay my whole life, and then when I actually came out, they're like, "Whoa!"
Like, also, really? I think we mentioned this when we spoke about it more in depth, but you also have to remember, like at that time, there was like no one really knew anyone who was gay openly.
You're saying in like the Orthodox community,
right?
Yeah.
So, like, if you knew you were gay, like you would be to be one of the first people to like say. To like openly express, this is who I am.
This is just another episode where you see how I'm always leading the trends.
How do you feel?
It's just another instance.
You're a celebrity.
Like everyone's just such a follower. It's like you guys. Like this was like my thing, and you came later on.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It wasn't surprising. I think. Yeah. But then we hung out in Israel. That was fun. That's when you were just started being openly gay.
Like figuring, right, exactly. It was my first year, like out and about, out of Chicago, figuring myself out. Like,
yeah.
Totally.
And you were in perfect place.
That's when I started wearing makeup.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that was when I first started, except for I used to wear a lot. Like when I get pictures, I'm like, oh, geez.
So we had similar paths.
Obviously, now I'm not wearing any.
Israel, New York,
makeup, anxiety.
Depression.
Anxiety.
Akiva was asking me before the episode. He's like, so
I gotta say it. I asked Sheldon, how do you guys know each other? Give me some background information here. Maybe some topics we can discuss. And he sent me like a 35-second voice note of him. About 20 seconds of it was saying, and then the two things that you guys had so much in common was that you both went to makeup school and that you both have anxiety.
Well, here's the thing: we used to discuss how we love doing makeup, but it gave us crippling anxiety because we're both
crippling anxiety.
That's what. So we used to felt like we were the only two that got each other. That we were like, we loved the art of it, we loved our jobs, but we literally are like crippled, like
totally
going higher and higher on the meds.
What? Like all the pressure of the job?
There's so much of it. I feel like, there's a lot that goes into it. I feel like part of it also is like, if someone's a singer, for instance, it's like imagine if they were like, they had to sing for someone in a specific way each and every time, but it was different each and every time. So it wasn't just about what their ability is. It's about matching what that person envisions in their head. So it's like every time you're going to a job, it's not just about what you want to do. Like, I loved the clients who were like, oh, you do whatever, stuff like that. Those are my favorite.
There was also perfectionism. We don't like making mistakes. We're OCD.
I need everything to look like perfect. So like,
and when you don't have enough time, you can't take the time to perfect your craft. It messes up your craft. Like
it just drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Because I'm an all or nothing person.
Yeah.
Like I was like that in school. Like I'm either going to fly like with, pass the flying colors on my tests, or like I was just going to fail. Like there was no like middle ground.
And I wonder then about like FX artists, like makeup artists for like films and stuff, like the pressure they like for like The Walking Dead when you got to do makeup for like, I don't know, 5.
There's a show called The Face Off that was all about that. Like that was kind of a show. And it was really intense because they had really strict time limits and stuff like that. And it's really hard when you're under such pressure. And like when you're out working jobs, like I remember I worked Fashion Week one time and then I was like, I'm never doing this again. Like people would always ask me like, oh, you're going to work out? I'm like, no, you literally have like this much space. You have like no time. You have to like slap it on people. Like it's just
people
like,
didn't understand. That was hard too. People didn't understand like this was your art. And we would always get we would talk about how offended we would get because people would just be like, oh, you're just a makeup artist. And we're like, no.
All the time. Like is that like your only job? Or like, is that like a hobby?
Yeah. And also just like, we, like it could have been you. It could have been that person. It could have been that person. You just were available. And we're just like, oh, me? Like, no.
Right? And it's like, oh, maybe you should call that person back because you would have came out looking like a clown. So
yeah, no. So
I love it. It's like, oh, but can you give me like a discount if I bring like one other person? Unless you're bringing me like someone really freaking famous, no way in hell, bitch.
Absolutely
not.
Like,
why would I be giving you a discount?
Is that a thing though? Will people do like free makeup things to get posted like on Instagram?
Exposure until you get to a point where you realize that exposure doesn't pay your bills, and unfortunately, you can't pay your rent with exposure. So then you're like, I
don't think I've ever
tell
been
you're
in
a
that
landlord.
situation.
I could expose you to like 400 followers if you let me slide this one.
Ooh, okay, I have way more than 400 followers, and I don't even post.
Now everyone has a blue check mark. Being a blue check mark yourself.
Right.
Actually, like everyone's doing it, and it's totally lost its whole purpose. And
I
now
know.
big ass companies,
You just pay for it now.
Yeah. So now, but so many companies are no longer paying for it. The New York Times just lost theirs.
Really?
I mean, I think it makes sense because if you're like an actual person, I feel like that should be enough for you to get verified. What is the verification supposed to do?
Right, but now anyone can get verified.
It.
You could be a fake account. Right, you could be a fake account. You could just pay for it.
Yeah.
Right, but I'm missing who's paying for a fake account. It's much less.
But you're not verifying who you are as a person. You're just paying for the blue checkmark now. It's not a verification anymore.
I know.
It doesn't verify
who you are.
When
did that happen? All of a sudden, it just started like...
When Elon Musk took over...
He took over...
Like, my Twitter reach for work has gone down.
It's not Instagram, it's just Twitter.
No, Twitter. We're talking about I'm talking about Instagram now has it. You pay for it.
What?
Really?
Everyone is being verified now. Yes.
No way.
It's
really?
like also like all the social commentaries are like making fun of it because they're like the ice cream shop with 400 followers has the blue check mark now. Like, yeah.
Oh my God.
Google it.
Yeah, Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah. That's where I was getting confused.
Wow, and everyone gave Elon Musk such shit. Now everybody's doing it.
Yeah, it's like $10.99 a month or something.
Everything these days is a fucking subscription.
I know.
And it's like, it's only $5.99. It's only $10.99. It's only $11.99. then you get your credit card bills and like, bitch, I'm paying thousands of dollars in like $8.99 things that like I have no idea why. Like I just want to buy a fucking app without it being a subscription, and then when they do that now, they charge you like a crazy amount.
Yeah.
If you don't want to pay the subscription model.
Yeah.
Yep. I actually that's why I use I use one of those apps. I forgot what it's called, where it has all your subscriptions, so you can see what's going on and cancel stuff. Otherwise,
if you guys also want to sponsor us, we'll take that.
I don't even know what it's called. I should probably.
Well, it's not HelloFresh.
Not Enroll Me. I forgot what it's called. I know exactly what you're talking
about.
No,
Enroll Me was actually made by someone that we know.
Oh. I might have deleted it, actually. I used Mint Mobile for a while.
Oh, that's...
He just sold it for $1.3 billion.
You know this person?
Who?
Mint Mobile? No, that's Ryan.
Mint Mobile sold for
Ryan Reynolds.
I thought it's bought by Intuit.
Yeah, it was bought by Intuit from Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds was not the sole owner. He just had a stake in the company. Are you joking?
He does the commercial.
He didn't start Mint Mobile.
He didn't start it. He bought it.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
He owns 25% in Mint Mobile. He will receive about $300 million from the deal.
Oh, pennies.
Oh, okay.
He sold the Aviation Gin in 2020 for $610 million, but we don't know the stake in that. Like George Clooney started a tequila brand. I think they each put in like three quarters of a million. I think it was him and a buddy of his. They sold it for $1 billion.
It's not
Casamigos, which is pretty big now. Although for the tequila connoisseurs, they say it's pretty bad.
Well, we got 1890 at work, and I never had that before, and I actually really like it.
What is it?
It's called 1890. I never heard of it. And then, of course, I got a commercial for it shortly after
what is it?
At work.
Is it tequila?
Yeah, but it doesn't even look like tequila. It's like it looks. I mean, they have a few different kinds, but like it looks like it's a whiskey. It's like a darker color, but it's actually really good.
It's probably not Blanco. It's like Añejo or Reposado.
Whatever. It gets the job done. Okay.
Right. So
this
means like Blanco is literally, it means as blanc, like white. So it's clear. And then the other ones are darker. They're usually either smoky or a little bit stronger.
I feel
oh my god, it sounds like you're talking about makeup now.
Uncultured right now.
I'm a pretty cultured man, if I may say. You know?
Living in New Jersey.
Living in New
Not
Jersey.
Makeup. I actually asked you to put makeup on me once just to try it out. I think you.
I know, and then I told you that unfortunately it's not a magic wand and it's not a scalpel, so there's only so much I could do.
You told him that? Oh my god.
Actually, no, I didn't. But Akiva, I did actually do your makeup on you once, but it wasn't like makeup. I covered up your little beauty mark.
It was like an air duster or whatever that thing's called.
Airbrush.
Right, an air duster is...
and everyone wants that. Oh my god, I want like an airbrush.
And do you remember how we used to always we're like, no, don't do the airbrush.
First of all, also, every single like job, it's like you're packing up all the stuff that you're going to need. So it's not like you're always having a thing ready. You have to decide what you need for that job.
Yes.
Then you're schlepping it all the way there. Then you're unpacking it. Then you're setting it up. You're entertaining as you're doing this. You have to personable. Then you have to clean all your brushes in between each person. Then you have to clean all your stuff. Then you have to put it back away. Then you go home and then you have to clean all those brushes. Like, it's draining. And also on top of that, you have to be very on and so personable and all that. You're running your own business. It's like emotionally and physically exhausting.
I know.
Like I would literally leave jobs like dead.
I know. I remember.
Dead.
I remember. And also the airbrush too. That's another thing with the OCD because the airbrush, if a little piece of makeup gets stuck in it, you're done for. So when
that's it.
We used to not like when I would bring my airbrush, I'd be like, please make sure I cleaned it properly. Totally. And like if there was a little
I brought another gun because I was too scared. Like if it ever happened to me.
Another gun? An airbrush gun.
An airbrush gun.
Yeah. I brought another gun.
What am I, freaking preschooler in America?
Oh my god.
Sheldon, you did not.
Shout out to, Amendment 2, Ochre.
Ochre.
And I live in Israel. How many guns are going off here? I'm just saying.
That's because people will get taken. I mean, when people shoot anyone here, they get dropped within like 10 seconds. Less.
By you or by here?
In Israel.
By here. Yeah, 100%. Like when that guy in Tel Aviv, like a couple months ago, did have a gun shot people. Like there are people on the streets who do carry guns, and they were able to, immediately.
Yeah,
kill
those guys are eliminated almost instantaneously. It was like that. There was a shooting in a church in Texas. The guy in the security guard in the back. It took him literally 5 seconds from the time the guy pulled out his gun for him to pull out his gun, shoot him in the head, and just drop that guy immediately.
Right. And then people are saying, well, like, those are the kinds of things you see you need to have protection. Right. And I get that, except for, like, if these people also didn't have access to guns, then you wouldn't need that. So it's kind of like
lose.
But that was interesting because when I was thinking about that before with makeup industries, that aside from doing everything, like aside from the actual work you have to do, you also got to be interacting and socializing with people.
Right. And also, as like social media progressed and Facetune came out, the Kardashians were big, like people's perception, like, they always used to say when we were younger, like in magazines, like girls would look at these models magazines and it's all Photoshop, so it's unrealistic. Nowadays, everybody's unrealistic in Photoshops and all this stuff. And so like, let's say like I would have clients who would come in and they have like very heavy acne or like, really bad texture. And like you could do their makeup and you can make it look good and you could cover up all that. But at the end of the day, texture is texture. You cannot take that away. If you have raised bumps, you have raised bumps. They could be covered, but you have raised bumps.
So what if you just like take on a ton of makeup?
Doesn't matter. Right. Texture.
But texture is texture. Meaning if you have things that are raised off your skin, you could cake a lot on it. When you're under perfect lighting and you're not standing like this, like everyone would always get so close, like to see their makeup. Like it's like artwork. You're supposed to take a step back and look at it.
Always
when
say
you're
that.
under proper lighting, when you're under proper lighting, that's why everyone loves their ring lights and all this stuff nowadays. When you're under the proper lighting and the light reflects off your makeup, it can look amazing. When you have those really close shots, when you're not in great lighting, it's not. You're gonna see it. Or people be like, but I see the makeup under my eyes. Yeah, because you have makeup under your eyes, bitch. Did you want to look like you haven't slept for 40 years like you did beforehand? Because I could put less on.
We used to always talk about that. That was hard also.
It's just like expectations.
Number one in customer
But also
satisfaction.
it stopped becoming, I felt like it also stopped becoming about the makeup and it was all about like now.
The Kardashian.
Well, no, I'm saying like nowadays if you're a makeup artist and you want to get a huge clientele, you have to make reels, you have to be on TikTok and like
that wasn't my thing.
I would like have a mental breakdown. Like I can't keep up
literally
with it.
I hate
it was
that.
about the art for us. It was about the art. And it was
my whole thing, like when I was in makeup school in 2012, like eventually, like I really wanted to come out with my own makeup line eventually and work with chemists.
Like when we started.
Exactly. Yeah. And like people were still using the actual filters like Valencia and all that shit. And like nowadays, it's like every other celebrity is just dropping a makeup line or a skincare line or this line or that line. It's exactly like with the fragrance world when Jennifer Lopez was the first celebrity who dropped a celebrity fragrance.
Yeah.
And it exploded and she made millions of dollars and then every single person hopped on board.
Yeah.
There was fragrances from every celebrity. Paris Hilton's like 20 something. Britney Spears had a bazillion. Like now they all have them.
Yeah.
And now the makeup industry.
Yeah, but now also I feel like just on the lower scale, the freelance makeup artist, like we talked about how the time constraints. I don't have time to film a TikTok while I'm doing my lines. Like it's really stressful and like
it's also that's why a lot of like artists, like painters in general. A lot of people I know are super talented, but they just don't have time or like the know-how to be making TikToks.
Or social skills.
So they gotta find find a broker.
Right. No, but like I'm guilty. Like I say, like I feel like I'm very extroverted. And like even when I'm talking to you guys, like I can be very in myself. But when I'm like around people that I like don't know, or if I'm in a room and I don't know anybody there, and it's just me like an event, I feel extremely awkward. Like I'm not like standing in the corner awkwardly like this. But I'm very in my own body. And like oftentimes like people used to always say that like I would become friends with later on. Like, oh my God, like the first time I saw you, I thought you were like a total bitch.
Oh, people said that about me all the time.
I have like really bad RBF. I know, right? And it's like, well, you were right. And what are you gonna follow that up with?
What's RBF? They'll be like really bad face?
Resting
bitch face. How are we related? You don't know Pocahontas. Okay, good, because oh my God.
I know who Pocahontas is. I don't recall the film.
Oh my God, Ilana like messages me. He doesn't even know Pocahontas.
Do you
like,
know
Thank
I
you.
wasn't allowed to watch that when I was like a child because my parents because my parents were like really from because she wasn't dressed modestly.
Well,
we talk about it all the time now. We talk about it all the time.
Right, it's so funny. Right, I'm saying growing up, I feel like we didn't grow up like crazy religious, but we definitely grew up. I wouldn't even say like more religious, but like I guess in the religious community's eyes, more religious because you played that part.
We didn't grow up like that.
We grew up from like not with Pocahontas, but yeah, I mean like our sister Trisha always claimed like we grew up so religious.
You did,
like you just don't even remember. We did, but we weren't like, oh my God, like it's not like we went to like
I know
crazy
it's so hard
schools
to
like
explain
that.
to people. It's really hard to explain to people because it's very
Unless
hard to
you know
also
it,
get to
you can't know
differentiate
it.
the school we went to versus what we grew up with at
we were
home,
at home.
which at home was...
You guys all went to Ari Crown?
No. They switched into
Yeah,
Ari Crown later. Did you even switch in when Dina switched in?
I did not. I went to...
Where'd you go, Beis Yaakov?
I did.
No way.
I did.
I mean, I was supposed to go. They wouldn't accept me. I'm like, what the hell?
Beis Yaakov alumni.
You don't like my Burberry?
Literally, hello.
Yeah.
I could make it better than all you bitches up in here.
Wow. Yeah, that's very different.
We're not allowed to wear
Go back and
makeup
do
in
that.
Beis Yaakov.
Well, and I know people that are in schools in New York, and they literally, the teacher would like go up and wipe their eyes to see if anything comes off.
That is abusive.
So messed up.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That is really messed up. That's super messed up. But
Yeah, that seems a little intense.
yes.
Well, also, unfortunately, a lot of these like ultra religious worlds, it's very like the girl has to do this, and the girl can't dress like that, and the girl can't wear that makeup, and the girl can't because she's going to make the guys be turned on. It's like, or how about the guys learn to keep it in their pants?
There's so much more.
And then
yeah.
you wouldn't have to blame the girls.
Yeah. We talk about this all the time. Just
It's so messed up.
I mean, yeah.
we'll
I
get
mean,
into
everyone
it.
just has
We
to
could
be
get into it
control
a different
themselves.
time, but we could
Never like that.
we could go on for hours about this.
Literally. But like that is like, it's something that drives me nuts. It's always like, okay, how about we don't just blame everyone else and just be like, okay, maybe I'm a horn dog.
Right. It's funny because even in like the more like religious circles, the goal is not to walk around the street with your head down. It's to be able to just walk around normally and just
Right?
not.
And it's bad for your posture,
Terrible.
you guys.
Right. It's terrible. Right.
Yeah. I mean, it also, there's a lot more to it. I mean, I do feel bad for the girls who do have to grow up in those societies because they don't feel they don't feel as a part of society.
It's society in general already, like, you know, now we're
They're-
getting better
they're
with
like,
women inequality.
existence
But in general,
is not important.
women were already second class. So then when you're in that world, it's like you're fourth class. You like drop 2 tiers.
Yeah, it's very sad to hear about it.
And like growing up, like all these kinds of things like seemed so normal, and like, you know, I didn't know anything else, so like it was just like
It's because we
And then
we
when
grew
you
up in a
got
healthy
that-
home. That's why.
Thank God. That's the thing
Yeah.
is like we have really, you know, understanding parents. Or even like Akiva and I, like I always say, like people are like, oh my God, it's so good you're doing like a podcast. Like, who is that guy? And I'm like,
Who
my
is
brother.
that guy?
Like, really? Right. Like I always feel like Akiva and I were like walk down the street and people are like staring at us like, is he doing Kiruv on him? Like, is he trying to convert him to religiosity? Or like, are they like some weird gay couple? Like, what is the
Or
deal?
is he converting me to the gay side?
And it's like, no, I know I'm drop dead gorgeous and he's Akiva, but we're actually brothers.
You're on fire
No,
today.
I think that's great. Like my family's extremely close and we're super diverse. I think we just
Right.
thank God I grew up in a healthy,
That's the thing,
understanding
right? We're all
home.
very different.
Yeah.
Like even Akiva, like people would look at you and just assume immediately that you're one specific thing, and you're not at all. Like people just assume because you dress in a certain way or you wear, you know, a certain yarmulke, like you are like a Haredi Jew or you're, you know, someone like that. And it's like,
Right.
no, there's a lot more to you. Like, there's a lot more to people. Like we're all multifaceted.
Right. When
And, like,
when
thank God.
I had our interviews here for our children to get into school, which we were told by everyone else was going to be super difficult, and it's one of the most difficult places to get your kids into school here. It was really more my wife who said this at the meeting, but like, because with certain schools, not the schools that we went to, they want to interview you. They have a guy that speaks to you about like technology in your home and filters and stuff like that. And I told the principal, I think it was him, and I think it was her, for the girls' school my daughter's going to. My wife said, "Listen, like we didn't move. We're not like we both didn't grow up like this. We both grew up modern Orthodox. We went to co-ed schools. We live here and want to send our kids here because we made this decision.
Right.
for
You made the
ourselves.
decision. Exactly.
We're
Totally.
not trying to like put on a show for how we want you to think we are, so we can get our kids in this school. We're just authentic. This is how I am. This is how I look. You know, no one on my block, I guess, looks like me externally. I'm the only one that will wear like, usually one of the only ones that will wear like colored shirts or not black pants. Or, go crazy like that. But it's like
off
that's
the
been
deal.
one of my biggest struggles over the last. Well, I wouldn't say struggles as much as it's changed over the last 2 years. Is like I understand I conform to certain things because I don't want to stand out too much because that's just how I am. But at the same time, I've been able to find a lot of my own personal expression with things and not letting everyone else force me into
100%. But like that's a lot of the thing. It's not like you just said, like how you conform to certain things because you don't want to whatever. But a lot of that has to do with the fact that these communities that we've grown up in stuff, they force you to conform to those things. Because if you don't, then you're an outsider or you're a lost case or stuff like that. So conforming is everything you're supposed to do. Like I feel like most of my life that's what I always did. I tried. Speaking of the glass closet, like I always tried to like conform, dress a certain way, do the things you're supposed to do, all this stuff. Like and then like it's hard because you want to be as authentic as possible, but yet you're forced into these kinds of situations, and it's like it stinks because you don't really have a choice.
Did you make it through Beis Yaakov the entire like through high school?
No, I did. I went to I went to Hannah Sachs. No, I didn't. I went to Hannah Sachs.
And then,
but I did early admission, so I didn't graduate from there. So no, I didn't take the straight path, but
I didn't take the straight path either. So.
Yeah, and then I went to Israel, so I got a year of college before I went to Israel. So
speaking of conformity, having the sex.
Yeah, I know, right? No, it was yeah. It's again, we could talk about this. We talk about this. Me and Sheldon talk about this like daily.
I have these conversations. All right, I just had two of my closest friends over for Shabbos, and they're not religious, and we speak about these types of things a lot. And they love like coming here and you know and spending Shabbos or some of the holidays here. But we speak about that a lot. Like there's a lot of issues. There's a lot of issues in the way we've developed our communities, and I think a lot of it.
Get closer to the mic.
Intergenerational trauma being the children.
Yeah, Akiva, go to the mic.
Oh, sorry. Being like the children and grandchildren of survivors, I feel like the people that came out of the war religious are still like very,
I don't know how.
Very religious. I think they, so because they, however they did maintain their faith, we closed ourselves off so much from everyone else out of fear of something like that happening on a spiritual level or a physical level again. And so over the years of just bubbling ourselves in, it's developed into this very us or them type of world.
Right. And I think we're only just really, I feel like a lot of people are only just realizing that now, but 100%.
Right, which is good. I think this is the generation of healing. I think you're seeing a lot of that now with people seeing therapists and talking about therapy openly. There's ads.
I mean, I've been seeing therapists
Facebook
for like my whole life.
I see ads on I see ads on my Facebook all the time. I don't know if it's trying to tell me something that I should, of these like therapy things you can do.
Yeah, all my things I'm scrolling down. It's like Passages Malibu, like rehab center. Scrolling down more, like it's a new rehab center. It's like, do you have an addiction? Do you need to talk to someone? Right. And then it's like really high end shopping. It's like, bitch, I don't have an addiction. At this point in my life, second of all, I cannot afford these shopping ads they're sending me. Like this new company, Farfetch. Like I sent you those like ugly Nike sneakers with like look like a plant. I'm looking at it. I'm like, some of the shit is so cool. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I have friends that bought some stuff from Farfetch.
That's so funny. Cool. Yeah, no, but I think it's sad when people do feel like I think that was part that was like I was actually thinking about it the other day. Like a big struggle was feeling like you're not in control of your life and the religion is controlling your life, which I think if you switch the narrative, it really helps to, well, not even the narrative, just to kind of find what's comfortable for you instead of doing things that are way outside your comfort zone and feeling like you're out of control.
Also understanding the difference and the differences between like the religion in and of itself and also the communities that we grew up in, which presented certain things in a certain way.
Right.
Where it's like that they weren't exactly like, it wasn't from the religion that was causing a lot of these constrictions. It was the community.
And I think it's sad.
Their interpretation
they're not in control. I mean, I'm not speaking for everyone, but just,
right.
And people are unhappy too. I hear it from, I have coworkers who are, still heavy into the community and they say how they're like terrified to send their kids to these schools because of what they've become. And they're like, they're terrified and it's sad.
I have the same feeling being here, but I feel like
I was going to ask.
As a parent now, it's like, I feel like at the end of the day, like you said before, we were raised in healthy homes, and as long as you have a healthy home and you raise your kids right, it doesn't matter where they go to school.
I mean, yes and no. I would say.
Yeah, right. I'm thinking throw back to middle school, Akiva, and rewind.
No, I'm just saying, there was a lot of healing that had to come from it because, feeling also like you don't fit in. Like, I remember being in elementary school, and I would talk about movies, and people were like, I remember getting like feedback how some people didn't like me because I talked about movies, and that was like not a taboo thing.
Which secretly means they just want to come over to your house
Of
to
course.
watch them.
1,000%.
No, but it was just really sad. Like, I felt like an outcast. And it was like, I wasn't doing anything wrong. I just wasn't doing it like you. So that was something I like promised myself. I was like, my kids will never feel other. They will, like, I want to be somewhere that, you know, they could feel like they fit in no matter.
There's that passage in the Torah/Bible that says, "Thou shalt not watch television."
Oh, wow.
Like, so
Thou shalt not ingest movies.
Exactly.
I was like waiting for the real,
Right.
No, it's funny because when I went to camp, I went to like I'd say it was a modern Orthodox camp. Manavu, I don't even think it's open anymore. I was extremely outcasted at that time. I only had like 2 friends because unless you had like Abercrombie or Hollister clothes,
Sheldon,
you were literally a peasant.
right, and mind you, nowadays, if you had Abercrombie or Hollister clothes, you would have no friends.
Right. Exactly.
It's so funny.
How funny how times have totally changed.
It was really sad. I remember asking Mom to like get me. She never wanted to buy me Hollister clothes because she's like, it's just unnecessary and expensive, and I had to ask her because
This reminds me of that Bella Hadid video where she's in a Vogue cover and going through pictures, and she was looking at her first pair of Louboutins,
so
and
sad. I couldn't.
Right, she
I
was
never
so
got
sad.
Louboutin.
Right, she never got her Louboutins till she was like 18,
She never had
and it was a
growing
really hard
up.
time in her life. Dead serious. Dead serious.
It was the best video I've ever seen.
I'm like, and this is America.
Yes.
But we still love you, HelloFresh.
I think also another important thing to remember is there's always good people. I had a hard time with something when I was in Chicago this past week that really messed up my my day.
Wow.
I'm not going to get into that, but I went to a wedding later. Which is what I was there for, and like I was talking to someone, and like I remembered like it's you're always gonna hear and see the bad things because that's what is projected. But there are a lot of good people out there, you know, and there's always like that.
Right.
I feel like in all these schools, even like in the difficult ones, there's always that one or two teachers that like, you know, cared about you. Like I know when I was in school, I had a terrible time, but I had like one rabbi I could remember who like, no matter what I did, he just cared about me. He showed me love.
I mean, sadly, I did have that too until I found out he was a complete
I knew
mess.
this was coming. Sheldon.
Yeah, let's not get into the detail. Let's not get into the
No, I do
details,
think
but
it was
I will
easier.
say that it's related to what happened when I was in Chicago. But we'll discuss this post podcast.
Okay. No, I was gonna say I found it was
PP.
PP. It was much easier to see the good once I took a step back. I think that's much easier because I'm saying my kids go to Jewish school. It's not like I'm traumatized from
That's
Judaism.
the thing is because of our families, we didn't have that animosity or hatred.
Totally.
Because we were able to see a better view, and because of the support from our
And I
families,
still have a ton
we
of
were able to
friends
figure
in
it
the
out our
community,
way.
and I, you know, there's also I think that it's also a good test of respect. You know, it shows respect of people too. So those I find those people to be most genuine. If you're able to still have them in your life, then
Yeah.
it's you know, you weed out the disgenuine ones, and but
The fake ass bitches.
the fake ass
Bye.
bitches.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but we're not talking about Peterson Park.
Oh my god, I can have yeah.
Not just kidding. They must have
Let's not go there because I can go on for days about Peterson
See,
Park.
I can't. I would love to hear it from you guys.
I go on about Lincolnwood as well.
I
Not just
know.
Peterson
Yeah,
Park.
but I will reiterate, just so no one there are good people everywhere.
Of course.
There are. You just have to really like seek them with a magnifying glass, a telescope,
Right.
Craigslist ad, whatever you could do.
Right.
Yeah, but
And on that Gavaldic note,
Yeah, we got to
guys,
call
it's
it here.
been
I think it's
so
getting
much
yes,
fun.
Thanks for
Yeah.
having me.
Thank you so much for coming on, Gavriella.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad that the two of us have not had like panic attacks, like throughout the episode. We made it out alive,
You mean my IV of Xanax? You wasn't showing?
right? Oh my god! We have matching ones. So cute.
reminiscing about makeup and anxiety attacks.
Makeup and anxiety. So, like, what do you have in common? Makeup and anxiety.
That's pretty much makeup anxiety. Yeah, we pretty much covered it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, we did it. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, that's how we became so close.
We're so cute.
Right? We are. Well, it's been real. Thank you so
It has
much.
been real.
And
Thanks,
for everyone
guys.
else, tune into the next episode and leave it your comments and everything in like the
And-
section below.
Let's wish everyone a healthy and
Chag
happy.
Kosher V'Sameach.
Yontif or Passover.
Yontif.
Whatever
Have a gewaltige Passover. No, have
whatever
a
you're
great
doing.
Pesach,
And
everybody.
I will just say very, very briefly, Passover on a Kabbalistic level is about our speech and the way that we talk. A lot of it is centered around talk. That's why the commandment of Passover is to say over the story and eat matzah using our mouths, because we have to work and be careful about what we say to people, how we treat them, and things like that.
And I have two things to
idea.
add to that. First thing is, let me tell you, because my middle name is Moshe, when we were leaving Egypt, we were not rolling holes into matzah, making sure 18 minutes was okay and like all that jazz. The bitches were eating lava. How did we get screwed? Not quite sure. Why did the Yemenite do right with Ashkenaz doing? Not quite sure. Second of all, my favorite Pesach song, because it really brings me into that mode to understand what we went through in Egypt as slaves, is I'm a Slave for You by Britney Spears, because it really, you remember what it was like in Egypt and how he escaped. And honestly,
Exactly.
if I did live in those days, I probably would have had an affair with the Pharaoh and probably would have just become like the leader of the Jews. But whatever. Just
Right.
saying. On that note, you
And on
guys.
that note,
I feel uplifted. Thank you.
Right? Thank you. You're welcome. More to
we'll
return
be
to come.
back post Chag. Post
Post Chag.
All right. Thanks,
Bye.
guys.
Everyone, have a great rest of your day.
Bye.
See you later.